Hey everybody, Garcia here, and today I'm taking a look at the follow-up to the very well-regarded Majolica. This is Majolica painting. In the game, each player is going to have one of these sheets here, and you're going to be coloring in the different spots with these colors. You're going to be passing these around and coloring them in. Most of the spots can take two colors, in fact. And you're going to be doing that based on a card flip. Every round, we flip over one of these cards. It shows a pattern. It shows possibly a bonus, and we are going to color something in, right? At the end of the game, whoever has the highest score, of course, is the winner. Like I said, this is a follow-up to Majolica, at least in theme. And if you don't know that game, no big deal. You really don't need to know them. If you do, you might see some similarities, but otherwise, don't even worry about it. We're going to take a look at this game, Majolica painting. I'm going to give you a quick overview, and I'm going to see you on the other side for some final thoughts. So here's everything you are getting with Majolica painting. You're going to get a pad of sheets, of which I have two pulled out here. One I already used, one that's new. And they go through a few different visual styles, but that doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't change anything, okay? So you got the pad. You've got here the rule book, which is very short, as you can see. I will say right now, if you have a copy of this and you haven't played it yet, this rule book is not complete. There's a bunch of information missing. Some places where you bought this, they gave you a separate just leaflet that had the extra rules, but you might want to look those up online if you are attempting to learn this game because you haven't gotten around to it yet. But don't go just by this. This is quite flawed and incomplete. So there you go. And then you've got a deck of cards and these soft color pencils, which are pretty mushy and very messy, actually. This illustration here was not using those. I don't think I could get anything kind of close to that. Like, the detail just wouldn't be there, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and go into how the game works. So everybody has one of these. Like I said, we're going to shuffle up the deck of cards, and we are going to take turns, or really, it doesn't matter who does it, but everybody is going to, we're going to reveal a card, and everybody will use that card to color in to their board. So we flip one over. Everybody decides whether they want to use the colors, use the card, or not. You may always pass. If you do not pass, you are going to color in these four colors in that sequence with at least one turn somewhere in the line. So I could do, it's supposed to be orange, but this is the orange they give you, so it's really more like yellow. Anyway, orange, blue, and then I might turn and say orange, green. So you have to make one bend. I cannot do orange, blue, orange, green. I could do orange, blue, orange, green, and just make the bend there at the end, all right? Now, every one of these places, as you can tell from this one, can hold two colors except for the wing tiles. These here, there's four of them. There, these right here. Those are only going to have a single color in there. And when you color those in, you'll be able to use that color again and just put that color somewhere else, okay? So you can go over the same space again, coloring another color using, another half of the box. You can go pretty. You can just smear some color in there. Doesn't really matter how you do it. So that's the flow. And then once you've done this, then you take a look at this part. And if you have a group of at least four orange connected, so over here, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, it's actually quite a large group connected. There's 12 connected. But anyway, then you're going to be able to mark off some special feature, all right? Once that's done and everybody has either done it, not done it, and completed their turn, we flip over another one and we do it again. Players are going to have to pass these around while they are coloring things, all right? So, the game's going to be over, by the way, when we run this deck out, and then everybody can figure out their score using this area right here. So let's talk about different choices you have and the different scoring opportunities that are going to show up in the game. So first choice is using one of these little shovels to skip coloring something in. So again, going back to this example, we got the orange, blue, orange, green. I could do orange, blue, color in one of these to skip the next one, skipping orange in there, and then do green in there. So I would still count the space, and skip the space and the color, and then continue with the sequence. You have a limited number of these. For every one of them you have not used at the end of the game, you're going to get a victory point. As you see over here, I had none left. I got 0 victory points for that. All right. So let's go through these now. You see here the flower bingo is going to be one of the many features that shows up on there, which is going to be pretty prevalent. And again, this denotes a grouping of that color, at least that size. 6 orange together, 4 orange, 4 green together. You're also going to have these that are going to have that little symbol, meaning a square completely filled, meaning both colors are in there, and 5 of those connected. So you would look and go, okay, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those are connected, fine. And then you're going to color in a wheelbarrow. Now, the wheelbarrows are how you score victory points for the most part, all right? So that's basically it. I'll show you a couple more of these and then finish up with the scoring just so you see how that goes. There's nothing else to it. You get the idea just from looking at a few of these. All right, so here's how this works. The different lines here are tied to different groupings of colors that once you are done playing through the deck of cards, you will write down the amounts down here for the longest connected groups. So my biggest connected group of the red here was 6. Blue was 15. Just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There we go. Orange was 12. Green was 6. All right. So if I get both wheelbarrows in the first space colored in, I'm going to get whichever one is my longest times 1. So I got 13 points for that. If I had also gotten these 2 colored in, it would be times 2, so I would have gotten 26 for that. The numbers you write down here are just aids, so you don't have to keep recounting. Scoring just comes from there. And the second spot here, the second line across, is for your second longest. Well, my second longest was 12, and I happened to unlock both, so it was times 1, times 2. So I got 24 points for that. The next one here is for your shortest line, your shortest color, smallest grouping of a color, I should say. So the 4th, I didn't even start on that, but if I had done even just 1, it would have been my shortest is 6, either one of these. Times 2, I would have gotten 12 points for that. If I do it for the next one, it's times 4, times 6. And then the last one here is for these wing tiles, wing locations. You score the number of different colors times 2, which I did. I had 4 different colors. I had green, orange, blue, and red there. So I got 4 times 2, which was 8. You're also scoring for the flower bingo part, as you're coloring these in. Every time you qualify for one of those, you color one in. And the highest one you get to is the number of victory points. Along the way, there are also 2 wheelbarrows. After the 3, there's a bonus wheelbarrow. After the 18, there's a bonus wheelbarrow. So there you go, and my highest colored in for that was 12. So I add all that up, all these up plus the 12, and that gave me my 57 score. So there you go, that's the game, that's what you're doing in it. And that's a look at what it might possibly end up looking like. Let's go ahead and go back up top. Let me tell you what I think of it. Before I get to my final thoughts, I want to reiterate, like I said, that I do like Majolica, the original game, quite a bit, but that's not necessarily going to influence this. These 2 games are not related. They don't feel connected. I'm not drawing a comparison while I'm playing this to Majolica. They're too different for that. So I think you're fine if you don't know it, because in my head, while I was playing this, I wasn't thinking of it. So you're good. Having said that, this is a considerably worse game than Majolica. So let's talk about that. This is just not good. Very sloppy production of a fairly boring, been there, done that kind of game. The one thing here that gets a middling score is the tactics and strategy in the game. I like the idea that when you are coloring this in, you must make one bend. You can start anywhere you want to. That allows for little moments of puzzly, engagement. They're not great. It's not it's not the best puzzle in the world. It's kind of engaging. It's sort of neat to see, like, okay, well, if I start here and I turn this way, if I turn early, I'll end up doing this. I mean, it's really easy to figure out. But it's kind of an engaging moment, when you can, while you sit around and wait for the colors to come to you, I guess. You probably want to get your own, like, multiple sets of colors. This is not a good idea. A single set of colors in there, kind of sucks. But that's the one thing I think is okay. Those puzzly moments. Everything else here is either boring or forgettable or undercooked, The theme is just not there. They don't even bother in the rulebook to give you a blurb about what the theme is. They go right from cover to goal of the game. Try your best to connect the same colors together. That's it. Like, that's what it says. They don't care about what the theme is, so it's just not there. The aesthetics, not great. Like I said, the colors are mushy. They're not good for this, especially when they give you all this detail and then they're like, if you want to, you can draw them carefully. Not with these colors, you can't. And the different styles on the sheets, like they go through sort of different looks on the sheets. Who cares? It just doesn't matter very much. If this makes me feel like one of those adult coloring books, like this has that look, which is great. Please go do that if you want, if you love relaxing with those. But combining it with a game here does not work. I don't like the look. And the production. Replay value is very low. You're doing the exact same thing every time you play this game. There is just no variability to it. The game length is going to be long and slow and kind of drawn out. It's weird. It's like the one flip and write game with downtime because you have to wait for the colors to make it out to you, and it's a weird thing. I mean, the strength of these kinds of games is that they're quick and simple and everybody's kind of engaged the whole time. And when it's finally done, you might not have interacted, but at least you look up and go, oh, I was doing something the whole time. You're not doing that in this game. And then lastly, ease of play. Like I said, there are a bunch of rules missing in this rule book. In fact, basically everything that has to do with the entirety of scoring. Like this chunk, the explanation of this chunk on the sheet is missing from the rule books. You won't know why. They tell you how to color it in, what goes where, but they don't tell you how to score. So be aware of that. If you want to check this out, you're going to want to go online and find complete rule books or the pieces that are missing for it. So there you go. As you might be able to tell, I don't like it. I was very disappointed by it. I don't know if this is supposed to be a cash grab after Majolica. It did well and was well received. I'm not sure, maybe not, but that's kind of how it feels. It's certainly not. I'm assuming part of it is translation issues. I'm assuming it's just not well translated. That's part of it. But assuming that the translation was flawless, the game's just not that exciting. There's much better, flip and write, roll and write style games than this one. It's slow, it's meandering. The puzzle is the moments of puzzling are interesting, but the entire thing together is forgettable. So for me, bottom line here, this is going to get a 3 out of 10, considerably below average, and I wouldn't recommend it. There's just too many other games that do something similar that to really waste your time with this one, So there you go. That is Majolica Painting. I'm Z Garcia. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you on the next one.